Hello everyone, good morning.
Good morning, Vikrant.
Let's wait for another 2 minutes and then we will start. So good morning again. What's up? How are you all? How was it doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Nice. So yesterday we discussed about like how we can install that software and like how we can run the Jupyter notebook and what are the options available and what are the keyboard shortcuts which we can use to increase the productivity of your working projects, right? So today I'm going to show some of the other softwares like VS Code and Spider, how we can use it. So that I will show it in this today's class. So are you guys ready with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Before that, do you guys have any questions on our previous sessions? Please go ahead. Once we clear with that, so we will start our actual topics. Any questions you have?
Nothing, Vikrant. It's clear.
Then yes, let's go ahead. So let me share my screen. Okay. So you guys see like how to open the Jupyter notebook from the command prompt, right? So in the same way, how we can open, see, you can see that our server is still running. It means my Jupyter notebook is still on. Okay. So it is not yet closed. Like how we can open the VS Code in the same way, right? In a particular folder, let's say. So VS Code is not actually the notebook, so, but will be supporting a notebook as well, this VS Code. But VS Code is mainly used for like big projects. We can say that Jupyter Notebook as treated as a debugger. Okay. So in the Jupyter Notebook, in each cell, you can run each line of code. So you can see what happening in between intermediate steps, right? So, but in the VS Code, what we are going to do? So we are going to run that complete files. Okay. So let's say you have written like 100 lines of code. So that 100 lines of code is going to execute in one single command. So how we can do that? So yesterday I shown it, right? So what are the Python files formatting? Like while doing any download of your Python codes, that is IPYNB and as well as .py file. So now we are going to see that .py file, like how it is going to work. So for that, again, so I would recommend you guys needs to use this command prompt Okay, just give me a second. Yep. So for that, so I'm recommending to use this Anaconda prompt to open any of the softwares. Okay. So, but some softwares we cannot open from the from this prompt. But in that case, you can directly go there, like in the Anaconda UI, and then we can launch it from there only. Okay. So, but VS Code, yes, we can open it. So for that, I'll call this prompt again. You can open multiple prompts. Okay, like if any in one prompt, if Jupyter server is running, okay, so please leave that as it is. Don't close it and don't run any command there only. But you can open any other, you can open that another Anaconda prompt and you can use it. So for that, so here I want to create a project folder, right? So how I created in the mm, Jupyter notebook. So in the documents, right? So I'm just, this is actually the CLI command. CLI comments. Okay. CD means changing the directory. So where I need to go. So in the documents. So I'm just providing the folder name where I need to go. See, now I'm in that users and in the documents folder. So inside of that folder, I have already created it, right? So that is Python batch something. So here also I can create another folder uh, that is like mkdir. So it means make directory. Okay, these are the CLI commands that you can use. Make directory and what and name of the folder we should provide. VS Code demo. Okay, so I'll just execute that. So you can just see in the directory what are the files available over here. See VS Code folder. The new folder was created. So let me change my directory into inside of that folder. So cd again and VS Code demo. That's it. See, now I'm inside of VS Code demo. So I want to open my VS Code inside of this folder. How we can open it? So just type code space dot. Code space dot. That's it. So that VS Code get automatically open on that particular folder. See, VS Code is open. See, VS Code folder. This is a VS Code folder. Inside of that folder, we don't have any files here. Okay. So now we have to freshly create any folders, like any nested folders or any nested files. So which is required to our project development that we can create it. Okay. So far so good. Come on.
Yes, Vikrant.
Yeah. So then how we can create a new Python files over here. So in here now we are not dealing with the notebooks actually. So we are only going with an .py files. Okay, that is actually the Python files. If you need a Jupyter notebook, so you can go to Jupyter notebook prompt and you can just run each lines of code. Once you confirm with that your logic, you can just copy paste that code and you can just run it over here. So that is actually the Hello, can you guys hear me?
Now we are able to hear you.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry, in between I just lost the connection. Okay, why it is. Yeah. So here also we can see like home page. So in the home page we have new files, open folder, clone git
That you
repository.
are not sharing.
Hello.
You are
Oh,
not
okay.
sharing.
I'm not sharing. Okay, let me share my. So meanwhile, how many of you know about the repository GitHub?
I'm aware of it.
Me too.
Yeah. So GitHub is actually the version controlling source. So that is not actually any soft. That is also a software like you can just download your GitHub app into your Windows system. But so from the browser also we can find it. Okay, you can create your own account. You can place your own codes there. Okay. So that is actually the version controlling. So we are going to develop and we can going to use that GitHub as a version controlling source. Okay, so and we can connect that version control into VS Code. So we can directly connect with VS Code to GitHub. So if you have any extensions, so if you have any plugins, you can connect it with your username and password. Okay, that is actually another topic. I don't want to mash up with different things. So here we have this clone GitHub repository. So that's why I just bring that. So we can connect that GitHub repository to this VS Code and you can code it over here and you can directly push it to your source control. Okay, you don't need to worry, like manually upload a files from local to GitHub source. Okay, so you can just clone it over here and write whatever the codes you have and push it back to GitHub source. In that way you guys can work. So when I say like extensions, so you can see extensions tab over here. Okay, this is the files tab, searching tab, this is a source control. That is again if you are already connected with an GitHub, then you can see like files modified and all those things, commit or uncommitted files changes and all these things. Okay, and this is the run and debug, and this is the extensions. So well, like these are the like by default tabs you guys can see, but this is again Azure. So I'm work like earlier I was working in like Azure software development. So that's why I extend like I downloaded these extensions. So what are the extensions which you guys are going to download it? So that will be appear over here. Okay. So extensions in the things, so that is actually third-party agents which you guys can install it. Okay. So let's say here, that VS Code is by default is not available within a Python. Okay, you cannot run the Python codes here. You can just only code it. You can just only code it here. So if you want to run your Python code again, you have to go to Anaconda prompt. There you have to execute. Why? Because, but not in the VS Code. If you really want the Python installed in your VS Code, you can just directly go here and search it for Python. Okay, what happened for this one? Yeah, Python here. Okay, just click here and you can just install it and enable it to execute. So I'm already enabled it. So if you guys are not installed, not enabled, so you can just enable it. Okay. Then only you can run execute. Here also you can provide a command prompt and all these things. If you want to run your Python codes from this command prompt, VS Code command prompt, you know you should install this Python from these extensions. Okay, so we have many plugins over here like Autodoc string generator, a Python path. So may have many. Cool. Here also you can see the same tabs over here. Files, edit, selection, view, go, run, and terminal and help, right? See, in the files, what are the options we have? Creating in a new files, sorry, new text file. Okay, creating a new file and creating a new window itself. Open the file, open the folder, and many more. Okay, as name indicates that is the name indicates that it will do the same jobs over here. Then if you go to edit, so you can, if you wants to do undo your changes, redo your changes, cut and copy, paste of your lines of codes. Okay. And shortcut you should already aware, like selecting all and pasting it all and duplicate the lines. Okay. And add the cursor above and below. So like that it is. And view. So if you need any command palette, open view, appearance, if you want to edit the layout, okay, explorer, search, and source control. So this is mostly related to your GitHub connections. Okay. So yeah, in the run you can see, you can debug the code as well. Like if you want to debug the line by line code, like what is happening in the intermediate step, so you can debug that also by doing an start debugging. Otherwise you can just press control functions button of F5, that is. Okay. So without debugging also you can execute it. Okay. And if you go here in the three dots, you guys can see the terminal. So you can open the new terminal, and from the new terminal also you can run the Python codes. Okay. These are what the like very basics options which we can see in the VS Code. But you're saying something? Okay. No. So here. So let's try to run a small Python codes from this VS Code. Okay. Let's execute our first line of execution of Python codes. Okay. So let me create a file here. So otherwise from here also you can create it. Otherwise you can just click on this Explorer. Yeah, please go ahead. Okay, somebody. Yeah. From Explorer also you guys can create a files. So see here, I'm inside of VS Code folder. So here we have another option like new files, new folder, and restart. The restart is Explorer and collapse the folder. See. So in this way. So here I want to create a new Python file. So that new file. Okay. So here you need to provide a file name. So I'll just do test dot. The file extension's name should be .py. If I provided a py, it is understood by the VS Code. This is a Python. So you guys can see the Python symbol over here. If I just type the .py, otherwise you can see what is that. It looks like actually a text file. So where is that renamed? Rename. So if I just give that extensions .py, you guys can see that symbol got changed. So it means this is a Python files. So yes, I just created this test.py files here. Here like this was the space to write your Python codes. Okay. So here I want to print some of the statements. So what I should print? So it is very easy to use Python. Okay, we don't need any syntax, we don't need any constructors and all those things. So if I want to print any of the statement, I can just call this print function. Okay, inside of that print function, I can give any of the statement. Welcome to Python coding session. Okay, on 2024 app. Okay, this is the this was the statement I wanted to print. Okay, I wanted to execute. How we can run it? So you guys can see like like here you guys can see one dot is there, right? It means this file is not saved. How we can save it? We can just press Ctrl S. Once you saved it, that dot will get disappeared. Okay, you guys can see this in like cross symbol. It means closing symbol. So it means you can just close it. No need to worry about that because that file is saved. Otherwise, instead of this closing symbol, you guys can see dot symbol. It means that files is not yet saved. So then you can save it and you can close it. Let's see how we can run it. So I'll show like two way of executing this file. So one is from prompt, that is Anaconda prompt, because that Python is by default already installed in this prompt. So I'm inside of this VS Code demo. Okay. So inside of this folder only, I have this test.py file. Okay. I want to execute this Python file. So I'll just call this Python executor now. Python space. We have to provide a file with that particular path. So I will copy that relative path. Yes, copy this relative path and I'll paste it over here. Okay. So right now, this test.py file inside of this VS Code. So that's why we didn't get any of the path details. But if we are in the different folder structure, you will get some folder path over here. Okay. So it's done. So Python space file name with the directory. So press enter. See, I can see that my first line of code gets executed. That is welcome to Python coding session 2024 February. Right? This is the one way. So from here you can execute it if works. Okay. If VS Code didn't work, if the VS Code didn't work. So how we can run the same Python codes from VS Code instead of opening this Anaconda prompt. Just click on this three dot, go terminal, create a new terminal. So that new terminal gets pop-up over here. Okay. So you can see the path, user, documents, VS Code, a demo, right? So here you are also, you can do the same thing. Python, because Python is already installed, space test.py file. So I'll just press enter. See, welcome to Python coding session 2024 February, right? And if you want to do any calculations, let's say, um, I want to print sum of two values. What are the sum of, what are those two values? 10 plus 20. Okay, that should be 30. So 30 should print it, right? So I'll just save it. I'll come here and I'll just execute the same one. See, welcome to Python session 2024 February. That is 30. That 10 plus 20 is 30. So I'll again give the statement. So if I want to give some line space between welcome to Python coding session 2024 February to 30. So I'll just pass slash in. It means new line. Okay. So again, I'll save this file. I'll go here and I'll print the same thing. See, you guys can see new line space over here. So if I want to do the same thing in like before and after, I can provide slash n. If you provided a slash t, it means a tab. N means new line. Okay. Yes, I'll just save this one and I'll go here and I'll just execute it here. See, welcome to Python coding session 2024 February and 30. So this is how you can code it and we can save it and we can run it over here from this Python files. So far, so clear?
So in Python, the execution is based on the file wise. There is no, if we have to maintain, if it is a big project and if we have to maintain a relationship between the files, the caller function and the calling function. So all that things are not there, or
Yeah, you can call it actually. If you want to
oh,
create, let's say, here something like if you have created any functions, okay, then here you have written something. This is written, okay, what I can say, end of sessions. Okay, if you guys, if you want to call this caller function in any of the other folder, okay, you can just import it. Okay, here, test dot, sorry, test underscore 2.py. So if I want to call this function, caller function, you can just import it from, what is the file name? Test import. What is that caller function? Here I want to call caller. That's it. I'll just save that file here. Test. Does it mean? Yeah. See? Welcome to Python coding session. Okay, what is running actually? Don't want to return it because I want to save it in any of the keyboard. Okay. It is printing this also. I'll just comment it.
No, we have imported only that caller function, right? Why the other
Yeah.
print statements are also printing?
So here I'm not calling with any of the variables, right? So why it is not yet printed earlier, like end of the session? Why? Because here I just return instead of going to print it, I just return the
Yeah,
statement.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So
why the above print statements are printing? Because in the test2 file, we are only calling the caller function. We have imported only that one, right? So
yeah,
why the other print functions are working?
I haven't saved. Yeah, saved it. I want to give it with the name of val. I'll just save that now. So this file is like here we are imported it, right? So we are just imported the complete file test. So here we are not yet packaged it. So if you want to package it, here you need to create some init file. So from the init file, you have to define the file name itself. So we should not call we should not call like this actually. So we should import this test in the init file. So from that init file, we should import this caller. So for that we need, so sometimes we have some multiple folder structures. Okay, so here what's happening, that complete test file gets imported here. Here complete text folder gets imported. So from that file also, we also imported this caller function. Okay, that's why it is returning that. Okay, this is just an example. We can do that. Like if we are created any of the functions, you can import it. I'll show like how we can package it from the Python within a multiple folders. Let's say here this is test2.py and test.py both are in the same folder location. But if this test.py in the different folder, if this test2 is in another folder, like how we can import it. So in that case, this import will not work because this both are in the same location, we can import it. In that case, each folder should have a init file. In the init file, we have to predefine what are the imports we are going to import it in another folder instead of file name. So here we are using in a file name. You got my file. You got my point, right?
Yeah. So you are
Yeah.
telling since we are importing the file name, we are printing everything. So
Yeah.
what if we remove that after the import statement? What if we remove the caller? Means anyways, the whole test file is importing, right? So just trying
So,
to understand.
okay, like if I remove this one, okay, if I just do
Mm,
the import, what
mm,
I can say, import test, okay, how we
mm.
are going to execute? We don't have any functions. How we are going to call it? Like if I call this
Yes.
function, this will show any error like caller is not defined.
So we are importing here the caller function, but since we are calling the test file, it is also getting compiled and executed.
Yeah, because those are the printing
Mm,
statement. So it is
mm,
very restricted to use the printing statement in that actual projects. This is the reason.
mm.
So in the backend, this is going to print.
Yeah.
So instead of that print, we should use this return. So what happens in the return? So whatever the return statement which I provided, that is going to save it into this variable name. So that time printing. If I am not added this val, okay, if I not call it with this val key variable, then this is not going to print it. So this is only returning in its memory itself. This is not going to print on the console. So that's why we are always using this return statement while end up with any of the function.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll come to like creation of functions and all those things. I'll come in a very later actually. This is just a software usage, like how you guys are going to use it. Okay. See, so any other questions you have?
There is a run button in right side, right? So right now we are running like, using terminal. Even that also work if you run?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Okay, but most of the cases we are going within a Python extensions. You can give Python space and your folder directory. So right now, okay, you are in this file. If you want to run any other file within hundreds of files, again you have to search it and you can go there, right? Instead of doing that, you can just type Python space and specify your file name. That's it. Right now you are in the test.py file, you are running it. So just imagine you have 100 files within a different folders. Like it is very hard to search it, right? Manually, you need to go there and you can do it. Instead of going to do it in a manual, you can just go here and just do Python space and file name.py. That's it.
Okay.
Which one is easy?
Yeah, this using that file basis like under terminal.
Yeah, that's your opinion. Like if you are okay with like just pressing
If
this,
we have multiple file that way, but if we are writing any small script, then we can run there also if you don't have multiple files.
yeah, this will work. Okay, this will work only if you guys install these extensions. Once you have installed these extensions, then only you
Okay.
can do the same thing. Okay, while doing that, you can feel that the situations actually. Okay, just try to install this VS Code and just try to run this Python code without any extensions and all. Just see the errors. So the basic thing is once you get an error, then only you will becoming a good developer. Without any errors, you will not become a coder. Okay, that's actually that's our job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how VS Code works. And next, let's go to that another software that is Spider. How we can run the same things on the Spider. So Spider is also available with a very good UI. Okay, you will definitely get attract on that. Don't want to install it. Just I'll run this Anaconda Navigator again. So Spider we cannot run with a prompt. Okay, so at least we will run one good software from UI, Anaconda UI. I told it right. So we should sit simply quiet while opening that Anaconda. This is just initializing. Yes, it is open. So here you can see a spider. Okay, so within a spider symbol, you can go here and you can just press the launch button. Okay, wait for its launch. Wait for that. It's still launching that software.
This you said like we can't run through prompt, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is how it looks, the spider. Okay. Some of the things is still running. Okay. Just wait for it. Just give some seconds to spider to set up the all the things. Okay. So here you can see, we can see three like windows over here. This is the space for coding. This is the space for to see like if you have any chart or any plot, something that is going to appear over here. This is actually the console. There you can see your coding results and you can check, you can run your code. Okay, this is the three tabs. And if you really want to change the folder structure, like folder directory, you can just press over here and you can just change your directory. And then, so by default, this will give a one sample file for you. Okay, so you can see that file on which date it is created and who is the author and everything is going to, it is automatically creating that. So we are not yet created anything. So automatically this will give default Python files to use it. Update not needed now. Okay, so you can code it, otherwise you can just close it if you don't need it. Okay, it's been modified. Do you want to survive the changes? No. Just close it here. Okay, how many files is have? Okay, I need to create a one file, then only I can close it. So here also you can see the same file, edit, search, source, run, debug, console, projects, tools, view, help, and these are the iconic way of that options. Okay, the file, folder, save as, run, and run current cell, and play like interrupt, settings, and Python manager, and upward and like upward moving the upward codes and downwards and undo the things. So okay, we have many more over here. If you want to run the code here, you can run the same thing like Python space and your file name and with the directory with the path. Okay, so here also you can just click on that file, create a new file. So you can just save it. If you want to save it, you can press it over here, save this file. So you can just provide the a folder name, document. I've already created multiple files over here. I'll just give spider demo. So you can just check the file format. So file format should be Python. Where is my Python? Python files, and save it. See, spider demo.py. Now you can close that file. Okay. So it is created. If you want to edit this doc string, you can edit it. Otherwise, let's leave it as it is. So I will copy paste the same lines of code over here to execute it. Okay. Now let's again save it by pressing a Control S. So once you press the Control S, so this save and save as buttons like this icons get grayed out. It means that files was saved. So in this way, you can guys can get understand on that. Okay, how you can run it? Here also we have this play button. You can just press it. See, welcome to Python coding session 2024 February and 30. Okay. Otherwise, you can go here and do the same thing, Python space. Where is that? So you can copy paste this file name, file path, and okay, it's a syntax error. .py. What is it?
File name is different. Yeah, the file name is spider_demo.
There is a single quote at the end and not at the start. So
Yeah.
does that mean that?
It is not taking invalid syntax. It is saying why. This thing is if I run through like this, it is running okay. This is not taking. Going something wrong here. Python console.
If we take off the quote even at start and the end, does it work or we have not tried that?
What you are saying?
I mean, without the single quote, Python and just the directory path.
Yeah, like it should work if you don't have single quotes, or if you have single quote, it should work actually. mates. Looks like it is not going to take that Python extensions. So I'll check it and I'll come later on that. So, but at this moment, you can just use this play symbol button to execute it because this is running with this run file command. You guys can see that, right? This is not going to take any Python extensions. It is taking in a run file. Okay. See here, it is taking the file path. Okay, exact file path. And this is the folder, like this is the directory, Python demo 2. Okay, this is a folder directory and this is the file directory. So this run file taking two paths. One is that file path and another one is a directory. So with that information, it is going to execute that particular file. Okay. If you really have any maps or any chart something, so that is going to print it over here in this tab. So you guys can see here, help, variable explorer, plots, file systems. Okay. If you really need to know the file system, right? See, so in this, okay, on which folder we have Python demo 2 here. So we have these many files over here in that particular folder. If you like, if you set this tab as in a plots, so you can see the plots printed over here. If your code have any plots or any chart, something like that. Okay, so I'll recommend you to use like instead of VS Code, Spider is an actually the good software. They are doing some good development. So you guys can see in monthly it will ask for some updates and all. Okay, but only issue is so you cannot do any download of any extensions like how we are doing in the VS Code, right? So like these extensions you cannot get it. So that automating like adding that auto doc strings, adding that auto comments, and adding that Puppet standards that you cannot find it over in the PyCharm. You guys can only code it. That's it. So you cannot do any automation over here. Okay. But what I can say, debugging voice and development. This is good if you wants to decorate your code and if you wants to align your code in a good and right way. It's better to use VS Code. If you are uh, doing a code, doing the project from the very scratch, if you are developing any particular logic, it's better to use Jupyter Notebook. So there only you can easily find like line by line execution. So by considering that point, you guys can start using these softwares. Okay. Any questions so far? What do you feel? Which software looks good among these three?
Mostly I'm used to VS Code, so Spider is something new.
Okay. So who all are already familiar with VS Code? Okay. So that is also a good software. There you can connect this GitHub repository and you can have multiple extensions. So there you can connect Azure as well, like without cloud services as well in the VS Code. That is the main advantage of VS Code. So in the Spider, yes, you guys can get some good UI. Actually, this is what I like. So once you get a chart over here, you can just save the chart over here. But these things is not possible by VS Code. So one of the other like software have some lesser advantages, right? So here we find these kinds of tab, but we miss that extensions in the VS Code. So in the Jupyter Notebook, so we cannot run this .py files. We can't run it. So we always going to run the line by line execution in the Jupyter Notebook. That is actually that's IPython notebook. And another thing I want to show. So from the VS Code also you guys can run that notebook. Okay. How we can run it? So here I'm going to create another file that is test notebook dot. Here I'm providing in a file extension as a notebook that is IPython notebook. Okay. See. So I'll just close this notebook. Yeah. This looks like us like what I can say a Jupyter notebook, right? See, these are the cells, code, markdown, run all these things. Test notebook. So if I just added a code, press code, so it is going to create a new cells. Okay. So here also you can say that. Let me check in the VS Code it is extending or not. Welcome. Python environment, Python 3.4. Okay. Wait for the connection. Yes. See, this notebook is connected with that Python server, that kernel. So now it is going to print that cell. So you can use that notebook as well in the VS Code. So VS Code have that both the advantages. You can run .py and as well as notebook. Okay. Clear all the outputs. Restart this kernel. Okay, see, restarting this kernel. So almost all everything will be the same, but UI is different on the notebook side. So it's up to you guys. Whatever the softwares you find well, that you guys can start using it. Okay, so I'll taking a pause now. So if you guys have any questions on to ask, you can just go ahead. Now it's your time. No questions? Okay.
Vikrant, one question.
Yeah.
In my VS Code, I don't have that run option for me. So do we need to install any extension for that one?
Like, did you install that Python?
Yeah, I installed Python.
Okay, once you have installed it, so you can just update it once, that VS Code.
Okay.
Okay, once update it. Otherwise, I will show that configuration in the tomorrow's class. Like, what are the another configuration which you could make?
Okay. I will try. If it is not, I will try. I will ask again.
Sure, sure. Okay, then. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.